Bună ziua și bine v-am găsit într-un nou episod Inspiring Stories. De data asta suntem într-un format complet diferit. Am ieșit din studioul nostru, am venit la ICEE Fest 2018 pentru că este foarte important să vă transmitem inspirația și vibe-ul foarte bun de aici. Sunt 2 zile pline de inspirație, pline de oameni frumoși și am crezut că este util și important pentru noi să avem și feedback-ul unor oameni din afara României, unor oameni care sunt foarte buni în ceea ce fac în domeniile lor, oameni care au venit special pentru acest eveniment în România și oameni pe care am reușit să-i aducem în emisiunea noastră astăzi pentru câteva reprize scurte, pentru că ne-am dorit să avem mai mult decât un singur invitat, așa cum facem de obicei. Am optat pentru a avea pastile foarte scurte cu mai mulți invitați. Ne vom revedea pe parcursul acestei ore, o oră și jumătate maxim, estimăm noi, în care vom vorbi cu câteva persoane foarte importante în cadrul acestui eveniment. O să încep cu primul invitat, după care vom ieși din live, îl așteptăm și pe următorul și revenim. Vă rugăm să fiți în fața telefoanelor, a calculatoarelor și să ne însoțiți în acest proces. Primul meu invitat este Simon Gosling, o să-i spun bună ziua și voi trece pe engleză. Hello again and thank you very much for being here.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
I know that time is very important, so it's really, I will try to be as fast possible just to find out from you some very good and inspiring questions and answers about the things that we search. Everybody's searching for inspirations nowadays and for the things that make us move, go and do things. So my first question would be, how and where do you find your inspiration, your power of waking up and going and doing things?
So many things. I mean, David Bowie, okay, Prince, Picasso, Pablo Neruda, reading, going to galleries, listening to music, arts. I really believe that. When I go on trips like this, I'm traveling all the time. And when I do a presentation at a conference on a Thursday, I will always try to use the Friday to be in that city, to see the city, to taste its food, and to see the art that is on display there, to meet people, and you learn from other people. So I think the reason I say as well David Bowie is I'm 50, okay, and David Bowie...
And you look very good for 50.
I'm saying that more really, thank you, but really more to do with the fact that he was one of my early icons. And when one of the things you saw with David Bowie, and you see it with Bjork and with Joni Mitchell and Prince, is understand who you are, understand your own voice, do not be like everybody else.
Exactly.
And I really took inspiration early on from people like Johnny Marr from the Smiths, the guitarist, people who were influenced by other people but found their own way to tell their own story and weren't scared to do so. Remove fear, have wonder, have magic. These things move forward. And you get that magic, I believe, by looking at paintings. I mean, you can look at a Picasso, a cubist painting and go, well, that's a bit weird. Or you can look a bit closer at it and try to understand what it's saying and draw inspiration from it. So I think it's about having an open mind, being childlike. Do not let the child die inside your heart. Believe in magic, believe in wonder, and you can then draw inspiration from a church, from a fashion shop, from reading a book, from listening to a song, just being open to it and learning from it and being willing to let that develop who you are.
So you gave me examples from art, from music, from a lot of areas. Who are the people, these are the people that inspire you. These are also the people that you follow on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter or Facebook, or there are some other people that also help you a lot on growing professionally, personally.
I don't tend to follow any of them on social media. You know, Johnny Marr, the guitarist of the Smiths, I read his paperback book. Picasso, I looked at his canvas painting. These aren't people that I necessarily follow to be inspired. Certainly I listen to artists. I'm a big fan of, not Ryan Adams. And so certainly I follow him on Spotify. And sometimes if he's speaking about his new album, I will watch that on, say, YouTube. But they're not people I follow necessarily. I think because of the age I'm at, I kind of have my
Really?
style icons and my food icons and my chefs that I like, but I'm not into following them. I'm more into discovering new things and having good recommendations, which is something that I think artificial intelligence is going to help with. It's going to make great recommendations which are very personalized.
Do you think artificial intelligence will take from the creative part of people? Because there is a big
No.
subject here. A lot of people say that we will not be so creative starting with artificial intelligence.
No, I disagree. First of all, we're seeing artificial intelligence in Spotify, and it will serve you Discover Weekly Playlist is an artificial intelligence list. It gives you 30 songs based on your listening, and if anything, for me, as someone who bought loads of records, but nevertheless, Spotify's Discover Weekly has opened a wealth of new bands. I'm listening to bands I would never have listened to before.
Exactly.
But I think the other thing, though, is that youth has a punk attitude, and people have a punk attitude. I think there will be a movement that if something says Amazon suggests this, there will be a trend for a company that is called No Way Amazon. It'll be like, what does Amazon say? Well, I want to do the opposite. And that's something that we saw with the Sex Pistols. That's something that we saw with Elvis Presley. There's always been a desire by youth not to just copy everybody. Of course, there are people that all want to look like Kim Kardashian, and there are other people that go, I don't want anything to do with her. I want to do my own thing. And you've always had the underground movement that designs the next thing that people are into. That when punk went overground from being underground, the people that started it left it because they started seeing safety pin T-shirts in H&M, and they're like, this is overground. We want to do something different.
Yeah.
So there's always a bubbling underground, and the cool kids are the ones that sort of discover that. And I think AI is going to bring that to people, and there's going to be so much more choice. So I don't think it's everyone's going to wear the same thing. I think we're going to really develop our own identities, as we always have, but just in different ways.
Yeah, because from my point of view, artificial intelligence can help us to gain more time to be creative.
I believe this.
Yeah.
I think tech will save us from tech.
Exactly.
At the in 2012, we were looking at our mobile phones 2.5 hours a day. And in 2018, we're doing 4.5 hours a day. And soon we're going to be wearing them. An executive from Facebook said that the smart glasses will replace the phone. Now that sounds amazing, but that means that we're always looking at our devices because they're on our face. Now that's fine, but remember, we're in control. The technology doesn't control us, we control it. And I think there's going to be a growing trend of an industry that says, use the technology, it's brilliant, but know when to disconnect from it. Know when to go for a walk in the park, or go for a cycle ride with your friends, or learn a musical instrument. I think that technology will remind us to do other things and to get out and live a richer life.
You said to me earlier that you have a family, of course.
That's
you have
right.
very big children already, even
Yes.
if you don't look like. But in the same time, you travel a lot. You are every time somewhere else. How do you manage to have a very good relationship between your personal and professional life?
Okay, when I look at a year, I'm probably away 30% of the year and at home 70%. In the summer, when there's loads of festivals, it's probably 50 at home, 50 at work.
Okay.
But you know what? It's not quantity not always, it's quality. So if I could be at home 100% and have no interest in my children, watch the TV, not do anything together, what I do, honestly, and I'm not the best dad in the world. I'm here on my son's birthday. My son is 15 today.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Pablo. So, but what I do try to genuinely do is that the time I have with my children, say, let's go and eat somewhere, let's go to a gallery, let's go shopping, let's go to the park, let's go and stay by the seaside. And I think it's better to do really good things with the little time that you have than do nothing with loads of time.
Exactly. It's very important because a lot of people say that when you are successful and you have a very good business, or you are a very known person, you don't have a life, you don't have a personal life. And I don't think it's true. It's more about how you spend your time at home and how you do very good things with your family than just staying there and doing nothing.
The greatest fuel is passion and enthusiasm. When my children were really small, we woke up one morning, it had been snowing. And I said, get in the car, there's a field and there's no footprints in it. Let's be the first footprints in the new snow, this virgin snow.
Good idea.
And my children just said, Daddy, where is everybody? And I said, oh, they're in their homes watching TV by the heater. This place was empty. And actually it's spirit. It is spirit, enthusiasm and passion that says, jump in the car, throw snowballs and do stuff rather than, oh, it's cold outside, I'm just going to stay indoors and watch a load of rubbish on the TV. It's an attitude. And people say, well, that's okay for you, Simon. You're educated white guy with with an income. But trust me, I don't come from that background. I think spirit is just something you have to take the bull by the horns yourself. And I know that's easy for me to say. I'm in a privileged position. I'm not insensitive. And it's hard for some people. But I still think you've got to try and climb your own way and make your own days. Make the best of each day if you can.
You seem to have a very active life at home. So, how do you work on getting your children to have a very good path in their life? How you manage to get them on a good path?
When my children, from the age of 0 to 12 years old, they were not allowed to watch television from Monday to Thursday. On Friday, I played FIFA, we watched films, we watched stuff. But here's the thing, they weren't allowed to. So I said to them, in my house there's a piano, there's drums, there's guitar, there's sewing machines, there's ovens, there's paints, there's clay.
Garden.
And I said there's garden, there's bicycles, there's sports. I said, don't watch the TV Monday to Thursday, do something. And now my eldest is a singer-songwriter. She was on The Voice. She was on Tom Jones's team. My middle one is in fashion design. She's creating amazing pieces of art. And my youngest one is an actor. He's just been on stage, the one that's his birthday today, and he's acting. Now, we didn't force them. We weren't nasty parents. But the interesting thing was, when we watch a TV show today, we say no devices. We're going to watch this together. We're going to watch, Bake Off or whatever the program is. But we commune together. And I think you have to be very strict. I go to restaurants or I go to cafes and I see parents go into the cafe. They put the iPad in the children's hands. They're watching Peppa Pig. Yeah. And then the parent is on the phone. And I think you have to say, who are you helping here? Are you helping yourself or are you helping the child?
No,
and the truth is, don't give the child the iPad, or let the child have the iPad for a small amount of time, but make sure that you're saying, here's some wooden toys, here's some books, here's some crayons. Don't just use the iPad as a way of keeping them quiet. This is the worst thing you can do, in my opinion. And I think, just be sensible with your children and be sensible with technology and have fun with it.
Thank you very much. It was really nice. I'm so sorry that it's so small, this format, and I would really love to ask you so many other questions. I hope I have the opportunity. Maybe we come back to Romania and we have you in our show for a 1-hour show, as we do all the time.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure to talk with. Thank you.
The same. Îl am lângă mine pe cel de-al doilea invitat, Bitan Franco Prieto. Hello, and thank you very much for being here. I just introduced you in Romanian. After that, we'll go in English, of course. Welcome to Romania, first of all.
Thank you.
How was, until now, the event, Romania?
Romania, I still don't know because.
So you just came.
I arrived on Wednesday actually.
Oh, yeah.
But I've been to
very much here,
going from the hotel to here and back, and so I've not seen much of Bucharest. I'm pretty excited about tomorrow, about doing some tourism.
Yeah.
And people is very nice. You look a little bit like us, I think, Spanish.
Yeah, you can say so.
And and the festival, I like it a lot. It's quite different from the festivals I'm used to.
It's very, very, the atmosphere is very good here from what I've seen until now, and a lot of people that came here like you to teach something the audience, to give inspiration, as I like to say. So my first question will be exactly about this. How do you find inspiration? What is inspiring you? Where you search for inspiration?
I actually like to get inspired by people. because I don't know, it's something that people inspires me a lot, and I of course I follow some artistic some artists and artistic Instagrams and stuff, but I also like to go to a bar and see what people is doing, and
Yeah.
and how do they live. I get very inspired by real life, and I like that one, that thing.
You said that you follow some people on Instagram, social media in general.
Yeah.
Who are the people that you follow?
I follow no one in like specific, but I mean I like to follow some. I like to follow some artists that do things that I can't do at all, and some 3D artists and very cool stuff. But I also follow a lot family and friends, and because I think you get a lot from real people also, that you then you use it a lot in advertising, because we're not artists, and of course we have to be updated with what's trendy about art, but I think we have to be close to the people and to the real world, because
Exactly.
you have to connect with them, and so you have to know them well and to understand them.
Between reading a paper book and reading an e-book or listening to a audiobook, what do you prefer?
Well, I prefer it a movie.
Movie? So you have a new generation.
Yeah, yeah. I don't really like to read. I get very bored
Yeah?
reading. But I mean, I like it a lot. I like to read things that I say, wow. But I don't know. I get bored, and that's a problem I have.
So if you are a
So-
fan of movie industry, if somebody would do a movie about you, who would be the actor that you would choose to play your role?
Oh, I would love to tell you Brad Pitt, but
Okay, a good start.
I think it would probably be a kid, not because of the topic. I'm like a kid, but because it's true that I like to observe a lot, and sometimes when I say, oh, this came up to my mind and I've got this idea, and usually people tell me, "But that can be done, like you're so innocent," and so I think maybe a child actor.
Okay,
I know
so
who-
Brad Pitt, it's first
Brad
option.
Pitt,
Second
chi-
option is
child
a
Brad Pitt.
child. Or Brad Pitt when
Pitt
he was a child.
young. Yeah.
So I think you believe a lot that it's important for us to keep the spirit of a young child in us, even if we are 30, 40, 50, or 60, no?
Yeah, I don't know if it's to have the soul of a kid, but I think we need to make to question ourselves, to make questions to ourselves continuously, like, and to question anything, like if
To put
they tell you
answers for
this is
anything.
like this, and I think you have to question yourself, why is it the truth.
Yeah, it's being curious. So it's
Yeah.
part of being a child, because children are the most curious.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
it's part of keeping that
Yeah.
spirit on our journey.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. As I told you,
welcome.
it's a 10-minute interview. I
Perfect.
hope I kept the time in a good schedule. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for inspiring people, and have a great trip tomorrow exploring Romania. Am revenit live, încercăm să fim din ce în ce mai rapizi cu organizarea pentru a nu vă pierde timpul. L-am lângă mine pe cel de-al treilea invitat, Mark Aris. O să-i spun și lui bine a venit. Hello, welcome. thank you very much for being here. Thank you for being in Romania, and thank you for being at ICEE Fest event 2018.
Thank you for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be here.
I switch directly to questions because we are in a small format. So my first question to you would be, how do you find inspiration in your professional and personal life, and where do you find it, or where do you search it?
I mean, inspiration in our job is very important because I'm actually the owner of a creative agency of the Four
Yeah.
Wise Monkeys. I'm actually in charge of strategy, but I have a lot to do with the creative part as well. And inspiration is very, very important in our daily life. And where we find inspiration, I think that, there's not one source of inspiration. I mean, what I tend to do is I tend to follow on social media different types of people that inspire me. It doesn't mean that they are high profile people. It can also be like even like students that I've taught, because I also teach sometimes at universities, or maybe like people that I value their opinion, or even people that I think are very good at some specific field. For example, I have a friend who's a DJ, and I like to follow him because he gives me inspiration through his music.
Yeah.
So I think there are many different sources. And the good thing is, in the social media age, you have so many different sources of inspiration. You don't have to rely on, one medium, for example.
If you would have to choose one big person from worldwide that you think is very important for a young guy, young woman that is starting their life, who would you recommend them to follow or to get inspiration from, if we would talk just about one?
Well, my role model has always been Richard Branson. I know it sounds kind of like a cliche,
No, why?
but
Because he's very popular?
because he's very popular, it's not like a very a choice that you wouldn't expect to hear. But the truth is that I like him because he's a successful guy, very, very successful, who's a nice guy. Generally, you have the perception of those people who have succeeded and have made a lot of money are like, a bit of assholes, and, they're not very nice people, and they've stepped on bodies or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's a genuinely lovely guy. All his employees love him. So this is the kind of inspiration that I like. And this is what I tell my employees as well, that, I want them to become leaders to their teams and to become nice guys, nice leaders. It's nice to have a boss that you look up to because he's a nice person, and not because he's, strict
A
or
bad guy.
whatever, or a bad guy.
No, it's the same thing that yesterday I was telling, because 1 month ago we had a very big event in Bucharest, and Seth Godin was one of the speakers. So I was in the area when he got in the building and went to the stage and so on, and he was so shy, let's say, very simple, very just going alone to the stage. Nobody was with him. He was not acting big and bossy, and he's a very important person. So I think it's one of the successful recipes nowadays to keep it very low as a human being, and not going in an area where nobody can touch you.
Exactly.
So here, yes, I agree with you a lot.
Cool.
So Richard Branson would be your example of following one person.
He's a leader. In terms of advertising, my inspiration was Hegarty. So he's the founder of BBH. I actually read his book about creativity, and that inspired me to start my own agency. So
I wanted to ask you how you started the agency. What was the idea?
Well, the idea was, basically, when I started the agency, I started with my partner, Vagelis Davitidis. And that was 5 years ago. I was working then at Diageo. I had a very good position, like marketing manager for the whole Western Europe for Johnny Walker. I was a marketeer from the other side of the fence, not from advertising. And I quit my job because I had a vision. And what I saw is that the whole communication landscape was changing. So with the digital explosion and social media, communication was no longer a monologue. It's a dialogue.
Yeah.
And this changed dramatically the rules. And therefore, I thought that there's a good business opportunity here. And despite the fact that it's very difficult in Greece at the moment with the crisis, we started the business. And 5 years later, we're one of the most successful companies in Greece in terms of advertising. We grow year by year. We're probably the fastest growing agency, winning a lot of awards. So it's paid off.
So, do you think in life it's important to be to follow your dream, or just to be very safe and in a nice, cozy place?
Look, I have my personal life motto is if you don't have fun at your job, you're wasting your life. Because we spend so many hours at our jobs, so it's important that we like what we do. If not at the first stages of a career, like if you're a young person just leaving university, you need to just find any job. I started off as a teller at the bank. I hated it, but I did it because I needed the money. And then, day by day and year by year, I found what I like to do. I found more confidence in myself. And I actually did my dream, which was to open an advertising agency, despite the fact that I was making a lot of money. I had a nice car. But I said, I don't care. I'm just going to do this. I'm 35 years old, then 34 when I started it. It's now or never. So despite the fact that all the signs were against me, economic crisis, advertising agencies were closing every single day in Greece, I did it, but I believed in myself, I believed in my partner, I believed in the team that we were then, and we made it happen. So, I believe that if you don't try it, you'll never know. So I'd rather regret something that I did than something that I didn't.
Exactly.
Another cliche, but it's true.
A lot of cliches, but I think they are the most powerful ones nowadays that keep us going and keep us doing things. You are from Greece.
Yep.
Romanian people love Greece, and we travel a lot there. So, from the point of view of Greek people, what is the most beautiful place, the most inspiring place in Greece? Where you go, or you recommend somebody to go just to be in heaven in Greece?
Just been having. Well, there's so many nice.
Everywhere is
places.
nice in Greece. I know everybody's telling this.
Yeah, Athens is not so nice, to be honest, as a city, but it has some nice places as well. I mean, I would recommend somebody to go to if he wants to see something completely different and divine and be inspired. Meteora is a place where they have some these amazing rocks, which are huge rocks, and they have some monasteries on top of them.
Half of Romanians been there, I
okay.
think.
It's breathtaking. I know it's not the island, it's not to go by the sea, you have amazing islands, but I would say inspiration-wise, Meteora is something very unique.
So we have to make a special journey there to check it out. I know that tomorrow there will also be a tour for Romanians, for the ones who will stay here for the tour. Did you visit until now Romania, or it's first time here?
I've been before to Romania. I used to work for a company called Sarantis, which has a company, a branch, like a affiliate in Romania. So I used to come then, and I went to Transylvania, which was amazing. It's super nice, very, very picturesque. I love the place. It was snowing, we did snowboard. It was great. I haven't seen a lot of the Romania of Bucharest. I've only seen like the old town, which we went at night. It was really, really nice. 2 years ago when I was at the ICEE Fest again. But
so
unfortunately,
you're first year here.
No, it's my second year. Yeah. Well, yeah, second year. And but I'm going to miss the tour tomorrow, unfortunately. I have to go back to the wife and kids.
Of course, because it's important to have a very good balance between professional and personal life.
Exactly.
Do you think it's a difference? 2 years ago, ICEE Fest, people from ICEE Fest 2 years ago, and nowadays, do you think we changed or something?
I was impressed the first time I came because I saw the quality of the presentations of the speakers, of the organization. It's really organized. I was super impressed, and I continue to be equally impressed. So I don't see differences, but I see that the standard of quality has remained throughout these 2 years.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here, and let's hope that you'll give more inspiration to the audience that is listening to you, and hope to see you again here in Romania, and have a safe trip back.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Am revenit cu următorul invitat, Brian Wong. Este speaker în câteva minute, ceea ce înseamnă că îl avem lângă noi pentru foarte puțin timp. Hello, welcome, thank you very much for being here. I'll try to be very fast. First thing that we want to know, how do you find inspiration? Where do you find inspiration?
So in my book, actually, I write about inspiration in museums. So it's called The Cheat Code, and I actually say you can find inspiration in museums. Go to museums.
Art.
And what I mean by museums is just places where you collect the greatness in culture and art. And I truly believe that you are only able to come up with ideas as a collection of things you see. So the more things you see, the more you're able to finally kind of gather that inspiration and create something that truly could be new.
How you get to this idea? Why museums and why the book about finding inspiration in museums?
So I have nothing to do with museums. I don't work at a museum. I never started one. But my book was from my lessons as an entrepreneur, and I've been
Yeah.
one for the last 8 years. I started my company when I was 19, and I noticed that there are a lot of young people who want to get ahead fast, and sometimes they don't put in the work. But I wanted to outline how to put in the work in
Yeah.
a way that's acceptable and bite-sized, which is what these cheat codes are all about. But I find that most of the time people think that the best way to learn or get ideas is, let me study technology, let me go and do the one thing that seems to be directly relevant to technology or entrepreneurship. But sometimes the best places to get inspiration are completely unrelated.
Exactly. You wrote a book, so you are a fan of reading paper books or audiobooks, ebooks?
Any type of books. I read at least a book a month. I
Okay.
think that's not enough. I wish I had more time, but I think that it's important to learn from someone else's experiences and opinions and stories, and that's why books are amazing. And I think sometimes we get lazy and we watch TV and we watch documentaries, but if it's already presented to you in a visual way, your brain isn't working as hard. So I think when you read, you actually get to stretch your mind,
Yeah.
and it does two things. It helps you stretch your mind and you learn something new.
Exactly. And the last question for today, who are the people or what do you follow on social media?
I don't really follow a lot of folks on social media. I think it's a little too much sometimes. It's very like rapid fire. People are more obsessed about frequency of content than quality of content. So I don't actually recommend consuming all your content on social media at all. But one thing I do like is actually, speaking of visual, I do like seeing artists and architects and folks that do work at the visual field and following them on Instagram and understanding where they also get their inspiration from as well.
So every time you go to a lot of visual, you talk about museums, now you talk about artists, about everything that is visual. So you believe a lot in everything that goes in front of our eyes and it's getting inside us.
I think it's about learning about experiences and immersing yourself in something that isn't your background. So why I love coming to places like Bucharest is you get this sensory overload. It's a completely new space, people speaking a new language, different culture. It's so cool. And then I will inevitably learn something spending time in Romania. It's gonna happen.
Exactly.
And that maybe it's when I go to Vlad the Impaler's castle tomorrow. I don't know.
So tomorrow you'll do the
I'm
tour.
going to
I'm
do the
making
tour.
now a small list to see who is going and who is not going to the tour tomorrow. But for sure you'll find some great places of inspiration in this tour, and it's giving you a lot of new feelings, a lot of new ideas for sure.
Exactly.
It's not your first time in Romania, no?
It's my first time in
Your
Romania.
first time in Romania. How do you see ICEE Fest if you compare them with other festivals, with other events where you've been?
So I always find that non-American festivals are planned a lot better and have better production value, and they value the content and make the experience better. So in general, ICEE Fest already beats a lot of American conferences.
Okay,
That's not
good
really
to
saying
know.
much. It's not really saying much, but it's a good thing. Other European conferences, though, this is again very. The good things is there's still a lot of Romanian focus or sort of the Eastern European focus, but there's also a lot of global speakers. So I think you have a good mix, and that's very important.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Good luck with your speech that you'll have now, and hope to see you again in Romania for ICEE Fest or other festivals.
Thank you.
Thank you. Avem acum o pauză la ICEE Fest, ceea ce înseamnă că avem iarăși lângă noi un om pe care să-l întrebăm și să aflăm lucrurile care îl inspiră și care ne pot inspira pe noi. O să-i spun bine ai venit lui Oli. Welcome. Thank you very much again for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I'll start with the most easiest question ever. You are speakers, so it's very important that you have your own ways of being inspired or to search inspiration. How you do it? Where you do it?
Okay, I guess for us, as a creative director and what I do, inspiration can come from everywhere. So the idea is that you can, for me anyway, speak to as many people as you can, visit as many exhibitions as you can, read as many books.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be, inspiration comes from this one place and today it's this and tomorrow it's that. It could be different every single day. The idea is that we want to be constantly stimulated from as many areas as possible.
You take inspiration from everywhere, but do you have people that you follow on social media, people that helped you in your way or that help you even today in being a very good creative director?
Okay, yeah, there's lots of people that I follow on Instagram. I guess it's the platform now where everyone's on there.
Yeah.
I think one I've been following recently is Diet Prada, and it's basically a duo in New York who they go to fashion shows and they look at fashion designers and how they copy other designers and they put them next to each other. I think what's great about that is that it makes us all as creatives work harder. Our ideas have to be more original. It makes us, work to have that point of originality and authenticity. So yeah, that's the one I'd recommend. It's called Diet Prada.
And if beginner, somebody that comes in your life in the marketing area, in creating, would ask you what to follow or whom to follow, or what's your best advice for him starting this career, what it should be?
Okay, good question. I guess for me, I came through a non-traditional route. I didn't listen to my parents, my teachers, or my bosses, and that idea of the career path does that is false. The career does this. And as a young creative, you need to do as much as you can. Work with as many people as you can. Fail here, be successful here, and it's just doing that. Never anything like that. Go to school, graduate, get a job, work with one agency, learn. No, go to school, drop out of school, make a project, fail a project, launch another project, speak to another guy, start a work experience. It's constant moving and getting to as much experience in everything. Not only experiencing success, but experience in failing.
How are you starting doing this business? How are you starting being art director? It's something that your parents don't recommend you. We are a generation that was for lawyers, for economy.
Exactly.
How you did it? Why?
I guess being disruptive. I've got a very short attention span, and I get everything attracts to me. And I knew, visual culture as well. I like pictures, I like imagery, and I knew I wasn't very good at writing essays. So I guess going through school and not knowing that I didn't like writing essays, I thought to myself, how can I, maximize my skill set in visual culture? So I did a lot of experience. I worked with lots of different people to figure out what works for me. And again, it was very hard, as you said. My parents wanted me to be a lawyer, doctor, everything. But you have to really believe, and you have to work hard as well.
Talking about digital, because this is an event for digital, but in the same time, we talk a lot now about books, about paper books, and about audiobooks or ebooks. What is for you? Which one?
I like the physical. I like to, go to my room, see all my books on my shelf, because basically I forget. If it's not in my face, I forget. So I really like to have the physical. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the other platforms, but I really like to have the physical.
So you have a generation that still had books, and you believe in books.
Very much. I've still got a record player. I like to, just because we're in this digital era, there's so much more about owning something and holding on to it,
What's the last book you read, or what's the most important book that you read in your life?
The most important book, I guess it's probably the most recent book I've read, it's called Pendulum, and it's really understanding how the society works in this, how trends in this 40-year cycle, where we go from understanding who we are as a person versus who we are within the community. I recommend it to every creative.
Okay, it's good to remember this one.
Cool, Pendulum it's called.
What's the most interesting thing that you seen or heard about in your industry this year, 2018?
This year, it's been very disruptive. Lots of brands are doing lots of different things. New platforms are being being launched. But I guess the best thing I've seen recently, I guess it's World Cup fever everywhere now. But what I really liked was a non-footballing brand has dominated the adverts for the World Cup. You know, Beats by Dre, what they did with their commercial and how they really spoke to the consumer and made it connect on a level, an emotional level, I think was brilliant. You know, the big footballing brands that we all know of, the Nikes, Adidas, and they didn't do as good a job as a non-footballing brand in Beats by Dre. So I think that for me is something that has really impressed me this year.
So this should be from your part, or from your vision, the most interesting and different campaign from this year?
I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. There's obviously lots. You know, when I saw that question, there's so much I see every single day. But this is the one that has really caught my attention in the recent weeks, and I think it will have great knock-on effect for everyone else.
As a creative, what's the most important thing for you to have all the time in your mind doing this? Because it's a lot about being different every day and coming with new things. You have to be updated. What you keep every time in your mind with you?
Yeah, I guess I'm very fortunate to have an incredible team of people that work with me. But what I take everywhere is being open, you know. And if you disagree with someone, understand why you disagree with them. You know, them challenging you is the only way we're going to evolve. So for me, it's the willingness to be open in every situation I find myself in. And that for me, yeah, is the best piece of advice I'd share.
And if we go to the digital part of this event, what's the object that is the most important for you in your job?
I'd say, you know, we all know where it is, the phone. It really is, and
hope for something else.
I still write everything down. I do like to write everything down. When I write something down, it really sinks into my head. Obviously, with the phone, we scroll past so much content all the time that it just becomes so easy. But I don't think we should fight against that. We should learn to work with it because that's the future we're heading to.
Yes.
Understand how to use your apps, understand how to store content, share content, broadcast content. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with having the phone is the most important thing.
For sure, yeah. I was hoping that maybe I discovered something else than the phone that you always
Water,
have.
stay
with you.
hydrated.
Yes,
That's important.
Very good
Very
one.
important.
Really,
Okay, good.
thank you. Yes, this is a really good
Okay,
advice. It's your first time in Romania.
Yes, I love Romania.
How you feel ICEE Fest? How you feel Romania and people, Romania as a country?
I really like Romania. When it's the first time here, when I got off the plane, I knew there was some energy here that I feel is really attractive. I wish I could spend more time with the people. All the people I've worked with or spoke to have been so welcoming. The weather's been great.
Yes.
Yes. So
Last
yesterday
night it
felt
was
like
not
London.
good.
It felt like London yesterday. But no, today's beautiful. The people are beautiful. And I look forward to spending some more time here. So you can invite me back, please.
Yes. Of course, every
Yeah.
time, really.
Thank you.
I think it's very, the projects like ICEE Fest are very important because you give to people, to a lot of people, to a big sum of people, 2 days of hard inspiration. It's so much from the morning until the night.
Yes.
You hear so many things. You
Yes.
can see so many people and
Yes.
see different types of working, of
Yes.
thinking. So it's really good.
No, it's really good, and I've been really fortunate, being invited out here, and I've found it so inspirational. I can't wait to go back and share with the team what I've learned. But yeah, it's been great.
In the last year, from my point of view, the marketing campaigns go very much to an emotional part.
Yes.
As you said
Yes.
earlier, it's all about emotion.
Yes.
Do you think it's a new trend that will go in this area even more?
I think so. I really think so. I think we've coming out of an era where it was launch a commercial and it's like big high production, like big cameras, everything, smoke machines. It has to connect with people on an emotional level. Emotion is so important, and we have so many emotions. So I do believe this is a trend moving forward, and I'm so excited to be able to make us all work harder.
Being part
Exactly,
of
being
it.
a part of it. I'm so fortunate. I've got the best job in the world.
You work a lot, I'm sure, because all of
Yes.
the successful people, they work a
Yeah.
lot. Still, how you manage personal life with professional life?
Yeah, no, I'm really fortunate. As our agency and my team, we really try and mix the match. We want our social life and our work life not to be separate. We learn in our social life, we activate in our work life. So it really is blurred lines on that one.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much
As
for
I
having me.
promised, it's a very short interview. Thank you for being here. Good luck in your stay in Romania and in your career, and hope to see you very soon again.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Mulțumim frumos. Asta a fost tot pentru astăzi. Sper că am adus o porție imensă, uriașă de inspirație către toți cei care ne-ați urmărit. Ne vedem data viitoare în formatul nostru clasic pe 26 iunie la ora 8 seara. O zi excelentă!